It's official. RWBY has found a new home. Viz Media announced that they bought the RWBY IP. I was honestly shocked because I didn't consider Viz in my original video talking about the future of RWBY. However, as they pointed out, Viz has worked on the series before when they helped develop the RWBY manga years ago. For the record, I forgot about the RWBY manga being a thing, so I won't be talking much about it here. I may consider looking into it in a separate video if anyone is interested, so let me know in the comments. For this video, I want to discuss my reaction to Viz Media getting the RWBY IP and what that means for the future. Honestly, I'm excited to hear that's where the series is going. I know I've been critical of Rooster Teeth for years. I've said it in multiple videos and never hid the fact that I thought the writing was the biggest problem for RWBY. I also commented that Ruby Ice Queendom had a better story than anything Rooster Teeth has given us in years. Then again, screwing up Batman in your poorly made crossover is another example of why Rooster Teeth wasn't the best at telling a good story. If RWBY would get better, it needed to go somewhere else. I always saw the potential in RWBY, despite no longer being a fan of the series. It's one of the reasons I gave Ice Queendom a chance. I believed that Shaft would be able to make a good RWBY product, and I still say it's a good series. With that said, there are still some questions about the future that Viz tried to answer to the best of their ability, including the future of the series. While some still want to see Volume 10, a sizable group is begging Viz to reboot the series. Technically, Viz did that when they helped the RWBY manga become a thing. Again, I haven't read it yet, but I heard that it did make some changes that fans were happy with. Regarding the future of the series, Viz Media is being vague about it. Their statement about purchasing RWBY included an FAQ section asking if Volume 10 would happen. Their response was, quote, "There's no news yet on a new season of RWBY. Please follow the official RWBY X account and Facebook page for the latest updates." So they're not outright saying Volume 10 isn't happening, it's more that they're considering all their options before settling on one thing. Either way, this has started a debate on whether Viz should continue or reboot the series. In my opinion, and you're free to disagree with me in the comments, I think it's time to reboot the series. I know some people want to see the story end. I would feel the same way if I had stuck around this long. However, there are multiple reasons why a reboot makes more sense than trying to continue the series, one of which is the writing. While some people at Rooster Teeth have tried, RWBY has been a mess with writing for years. This isn't a new thing either. As I pointed out in one of my previous videos, Rooster Teeth was getting criticism for the series, and the response was, well, if you don't like it, don't watch it, which was from one of their VAs. This statement is hilarious since many people decided to do that, leading to another reason Rooster Teeth failed. I know it's not the only reason, but a company like RT shouldn't give fans a reason to leave like that. I also want to add that the writing isn't the only reason I think a reboot is the better option moving forward. Again, we had to be honest here. RWBY was RT's biggest show, and RT still ended up closing. Even crossing over with the Justice League didn't help, which makes it look even worse. Let's imagine Viz is meeting with a streaming company like Netflix or Amazon, and they're pitching RWBY to them. From a business perspective, what's a good reason for them to say yes if RWBY has never been that big of a draw? I know I'm comparing apples to oranges, but the views on the first episode of RWBY on YouTube have reached 16 million in over 10 years. In comparison, Has Been Hotel's pilot is at 111 million in 4 years. Even Hell of a Boss has 65 million in the same time frame. It makes sense for a studio like A24 to pick up Has Been Hotel because of how much of a hit it was and still is. While 16 million is still impressive, it took over 10 years to reach, and RWBY never became a mainstream series. It could be possible that a streaming company isn't interested in current RWBY, but would be interested in a reboot. The last reason I want to talk about is it's time for RWBY's art style to change. Even when I was a fan, I wasn't crazy about the 3D style. Not to mention, I wasn't a fan of some of the design choices they made in later seasons. Seriously, what is it with them making Yang's design go from bright and flashy to dull and boring? And no, I doubt Monty no longer being alive was the reason why the designs took a massive nosedive, especially when I liked the redesign of RWBY, Weiss, and Blake from Volume 4 through 6. Yang I still wasn't crazy about, but at least it was better than what Volume 7 gave fans. I think whatever studio works on RWBY next may decide to use a 2D art style, which Ice Queendom showed can work. And if you're drastically changing the art style and working with a new studio, why not just reboot the series? It's also possible that whatever studio decides to work on RWBY, they're not interested in continuing someone else's story and would prefer to work on their own. Either way, I'm hopeful for whatever the future is for RWBY, and I can't wait to see what happens. Until then, though, I'm Marco Strange. Stay safe, stay strange.